Hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show that called Sports Plus Life. Yeah, you know, it's about to go down up in here. So listen, turn it off, turn it all the way off. Yeah. All right, again, what's going on, people? Again, my name is Brandon Brevon Towns. This is Sports Plus Life, and this is that show where we discuss the hottest topics in sports, well, with a little life mixed into there, depending on whether they need to be discussed or not. And I told y'all I was going to do this a little more often. I've been kind of MIA. I was kind of MIA for the better part of the last 5 months, but right now, I'm back, bitches. But anyway, I hope everybody is has had a wonderful day. It's a peculiar hour because you guys won't get this on YouTube until the sun comes up tomorrow. But in the meantime, I will definitely address everything accordingly, as it is still technically Tuesday, but in the Wednesday, October 22nd/23rd. 2019. And I hope everybody is having a great day. I did have a good day at work. You know, I was out in Fredericksburg delivering, the old Amazon stuff, and then came back and had a really good drama ministry rehearsal for the skit that we have going on at St. Paul's Baptist Church, on Creighton Road, for kind of like a drama ministry concert that will be on August. Look at me. That will be on November 17th. So that's basically what I was doing. And then tomorrow I have choir rehearsal also at St. Paul's Baptist Church. So just keeping myself busy. But anyway, let's get to it. I mean, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, I didn't say that correctly. We have a lot of stuff to cover. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right. So the first thing that I definitely would want to get into is the NFL season, as we are now moving into week 8 already. Week 8 of the NFL season. That's crazy. We're almost at mid-season. And, well, what are some things that we have figured out? Basically, what we talked about last time was, right now we compared and contrast the AFC to the NFC. It's like this season has been so crazy that it's been so crazy because it's like you learn something new every week of the NFL season. Just when you think you might have it figured out, you don't know a damn thing. The only thing we do know right now is that the New England Patriots and the San Francisco 49ers are still undefeated. But are they even honestly the best teams in the league? I mean, logic would you'd say, hey, they're the 2 undefeated teams, they're the 2 best. I will say this again, as I'll get into matchups quickly. I will say this again. The New England Patriots, they ain't played nobody. Their defense looks amazing. Yesterday, I believe they pitched a shutout. 33-0, a shutout of the New York Jets, who everybody was so, it's crazy how these analysts try to build up these teams that really ain't crap. I mean, yes, Sam Darnold came back from mononucleosis last week, and they beat the Dallas Cowboys, which to me was the highlight of the week. But now you build the Jets up. Oh, they're going to give New England a test. And, it's in Giant Stadium, and they're going to be feisty. No, they wasn't. They are what they are. A 1-5 football team. That's what they are.
You suck.
Sam Darnold is in his second year going up against a Bill Belichick defense that right now is historically good. But I'll say it again because they ain't played no damn body. So what can you really take from the Patriots beating the Jets? To me, nothing. And then on the other end, you have the 49ers, who played in a wet, ugly, mud-filled game at Washington against the Redskins, and we all know the Redskins ain't shit, period. But that game was just ugly. The 49ers won 9-0. Defensive struggle, as that was one of several games up and down the East Coast that just had ugly, ugly weather. So what does the San Francisco 49ers win over the Redskins show me? They have a great defense like the Patriots do, but nothing. Now, they did today, and this hurts my heart and soul, they did trade and get my Denver Broncos wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders. So 1 year Demaryius Thomas goes, the next year Emmanuel Sanders goes. But you know what? I'm happy for Emmanuel because he's now in a winning situation. As honestly, I don't believe that would have happened had the Broncos won Thursday night against the Kansas City Chiefs, but we simply did not show up to play. Our offensive line was straight fucking trash as Flacco got sacked about 20 times. It seemed like every play. Outside of the first drive of the game, it seemed like there was a Kansas City Chiefs lineman or linebacker or defensive back in the backfield taking Flacco to the ground. It was a disgraceful performance by my Denver Broncos. So I'm happy that Emmanuel is now in a winning situation. I hope he can stay healthy. The 49ers really need a dynamic playmaking wide receiver, which he is. And I think that with Kyle Shanahan's offensive mindset and his creativity, I definitely believe that he can flourish there. And the Patriots, on the other hand, they got Mohamed Sanu from the Atlanta Falcons. Big body receiver that lets me know that the Josh Gordon injury may be a little bit more serious than we thought. But, okay, so what do we have outside the Patriots and the 49ers? In the AFC, well, the Colts beat the Texans. The Indianapolis Colts defeated the Houston Texans, and which to me right now, because we were all high on the Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson after they went to Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs. Now, I'm still high on Deshaun Watson, but the Colts is just a bad matchup for them. You know, styles make fights, and the Colts just have the Texans' number. It's a bad matchup. The Texans defensive line does not match up well against that mammoth offensive line of the Indianapolis Colts. And the Colts, I think that's what it comes down to. The Colts just have their number. So now the Colts are 4-2. And remember, Andrew Luck retired before the season started, and I didn't think the Colts would have be much different because Jacoby Brissett is actually a good quarterback. So the Colts are 4-2. They're in first place. Yes, the Chiefs beat the Broncos. They're 5-2. But the game that was very impressive, and if you want to talk about threats to the New England Patriots coming out of the AFC, well, Patrick Mahomes got hurt. He's going to be out for about a month. And so that remains to be seen. But I said it all last season, and I'm going to say it again. The Lamar Jackson era is here. Did you see this dude against Seattle, at Seattle, Sunday? Now, if you just look at the box scores, 144 yards passing is not really impressive. But my man had drops. He had drops, but the over 100 yards rushing, and he simply took over that game. He took over that game. And here's one thing that I didn't mention last week, or didn't go into detail about. Okay, the Jalen Ramsey trade from Jacksonville to L.A. Very good move. Already paid dividends. Rams beat the Falcons. Falcons ain't shit. Dan Quinn's about to get fired. But they got rid of Marcus Peters first, and they traded him to the Ravens. With the Ravens' defensive scheme, Marcus Peters is going to shine. That was the best thing that Baltimore could have done. That's the best thing for the career of Marcus Peters, because he's not your shut down one-on-one man-to-man cover corner. That's not him. He's a freelancer. He's a risk taker. He's not as good as Talib, because Talib, at his best, can actually shut you down, even though he's a risk taker. But he's a freelancer. He freelances. He's like Earl Thomas at cornerback. Excuse me. And incidentally, Earl Thomas is now his teammate. And what did Marcus Peters do? The play that really changed the game in that Seattle-Baltimore game. He had a pick six. And he's really gonna pay some dividends. The Ravens are 5-2, and they play New England in 2 weeks. Definite interesting thing to see because, I mean, everybody and their mama know that Belichick is going to have a spy on Lamar Jackson. But can you stop him? This dude has the Michael Vick factor. The Michael Vick, you have to totally rearrange your defense to stop this one dude because you don't know what he's going to do in the passing game and you don't know what he's going to do in the running game. So they, to me, they are a big threat. Again, biggest surprise, I still have to see it. They still have to keep winning games for me to truly believe in them. The Buffalo Bills are 5-1. How about that? They would have the top wild card spot as of right now. And I'm talking about wild card already. So this is pretty much how it goes. Patriots number 1. Ravens and Chiefs tied for number 2. No, that's number 2 and 3 respectively. Colts would be number 4. Buffalo would be your top wild card spot. Houston would be the 6th spot at 4-3. So that's pretty much there you have it with the AFC, and I just took a sip because I was parched. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, this is an alcoholic beverage, but this is my podcast, and I'm not driving, bitch.
Biatch.
So let's go over to the NFC, which is top heavy as fuck. Total different from the NFC to the AFC. All right, let me get this out the way. Eagles did not show up to play. Cowboys kicked the crap out of them. They really did. Philadelphia didn't show up to play. Deshaun Jackson has to get on the damn field. I mean, they already have their problems on defense. I think the next Bronco to go is Chris Harris. And if Chris Harris goes anywhere, damn it, I want to see him in Philadelphia. Because they need a cornerback bad. But aside from that, Deshaun Jackson's got to get out on the field. You know, he's got to get back because you can't trust Nelson Aguilar as a deep threat. And Alshon Jeffrey, I don't even know if he's faster than Zach Ertz. Now, one-on-one, if you throw it up, I'll pick him any day. But, you know, people want to look at Carson Wentz. It ain't Carson Wentz. Dude's not getting really any help. I mean, honestly, you already have 2 games lost because of drop passes. So, yeah, Cowboys won. Fuck them. Okay, now on to the real teams in the NFC. Of course, the 49ers are 6-0, but do I think they're the best team in the NFC? I do not. I believe the best team in the NFC right now is the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints, who lost Drew Brees in week 2 of the season, has not lost since. And what I believe has happened is Teddy Bridgewater may be the reason why Sean Payton stays in New Orleans after Drew Brees retires. Because Teddy Bridgewater has been Teddy balling. He has. They went into Soldier Field without Alvin Kamara, without Jared Cook, and put it on the Bears. And which begs another question. Is the Bears defense overrated? Because you let the Raiders walk all over you. Then you let the Saints without Breeze, without Kamara, without Jared Cook. House your ass. Don't let that 36-25 score fool you. It was 36-10 with 3 minutes left in the game. Okay? Don't let that fool you. So the Saints are 6-1. I want to say they're 6-1. 5-1, 6-1. Let me see y'all. Yeah, they're 6-1. And then a very close. And this is crazy because the 49ers, to me, have the best defense by far in the NFC. But to me, they're the 3rd best team because you're not seeing enough offensively. Maybe Emmanuel Sanders can help change that. But the Green Bay Packers are 6-1. They actually have a defense this year. Aaron Rodgers had a remember me bitch game against the Raiders to let him know that he ain't gone nowhere. He simply put on a show against the Raiders. They're 6-1. And let's see. So In the divisions, you have 49ers number 1, Saints and Packers tied for number 2 and 3, Dallas at 4 and 3, and then you have the wild cards. And this is interesting. This is very interesting because ever since there was damn near a whole blow up of the Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins has, you can argue that nobody's played better at quarterback than Kirk Cousins. To be honest with you, the Minnesota Vikings are balling right now. They haven't lost since. They're 5-2, and then the other wild card team is 5-2. That's the Seattle Seahawks, who just lost to the Baltimore Ravens. Think of how top heavy the NFC is right now. You know, I didn't even say the Rams. The Rams, who are 4-3, who just got a big win against Atlanta, who have kind of a cushy schedule the next couple of games. They're right now on the outside looking in. Carolina Panthers, 4-2, won 4 straight games after starting 0-2. They're on the outside looking in. The Chicago Bears, with their defense and who they're on the outside looking in. Boss! And what's crazy is the NFC West, everybody is 500 or better. Remember when the Arizona Cardinals were 0-3? They've won 3 straight. Well, they were 0-3-1. They're now 3-3-1. So I guess the offense run by Cliff Kingsbury is actually starting to work. I knew Kyler Murray was going to be decent. So, you know, that's what's going on in the NFL. And you have to let's look at some of the matchups. You want to look at some of the matchups coming up in week 8. I might as well just go ahead and make my predictions. Washington at Minnesota. Are you joking? That's a Thursday night game. Come on now. Kirk Cousins finna kick the shit out of his old team. Redskins going to get the hell beat out of him. Sorry, Adrian Peterson. You may luck up and get a touchdown against your old squad. Wish you were still there now, don't you? Seattle is at Atlanta. That's a 1 o'clock game. Seattle's going to bounce back because Atlanta is trash. They're starting to blow it up. As quiet as it's kept, they're starting to blow it up in Atlanta. I think the only people who's going to be there who's safe is Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. I think everybody else is expendable. Interesting game. Philadelphia at Buffalo. Bills are 5-1, rolling. Eagles just coming off an embarrassing loss, 3-4. I know the Eagles have a awful secondary, but I don't trust Josh Allen enough, plus the weapons that they have to exploit it. I actually think Philadelphia is going to go into Buffalo and win. Quote me on that. The Chargers at the Bears, 2 teams who have been disappointments this season. I actually have the Bears bouncing back. I think you're actually starting to see the end of the Phillip Rivers run. But the Chargers do this every year, with the exception of last year. They get off to awful starts, and then they'll get hot in mid-November, but it'll be too big a hole, and they'll finish the season 7-9 and 8-8. But I like the Bears. Giants at the Lions. I like the Lions, period. The Bucks at the Titans. I mean, who cares? To be honest with you, I mean, actually, I like Tampa. I like Tampa Bay to win at Tennessee. Actually, Denver at the Colts. My Broncos. You know what? You know what? I like this matchup. I actually think that we're gonna win. This is actually not me picking with my heart. I honestly do believe, styles make matchups. I believe that we actually will win this game. Bengals at Rams. Bengals are 0-shit. Interesting matchup with the Cardinals at the Saints, because the Cardinals are rolling right now. They're 3-0. The Saints have been rolling all season. 2 creative offensive minds, a master like Sean Payton versus Cliff Kingsbury. Sound like the name of a bootleg ass cereal. I like the Saints. Because what's not being talked about is the Saints' defense. Nasty. Jets at Jacksonville. With each passing win that Jacksonville has, and they're 3-4, it's going to make it kind of hard to put Nick Foles in when he gets back for Gardner Minshew. I like Jacksonville in this game. Good game coming up. Carolina at San Francisco. Panthers have won 4 straight. 49ers are undefeated. I like San Francisco's defense, and interested to see what the 49ers are going to do now with Emmanuel Sanders, because now you have some burners now. Goodwin is a burner. Um, Emmanuel's not the burner that he once was, but he's still a shifty video game type receiver. They didn't even have to give up Dante Pettis or anything like that, so we'll see. Cleveland at New England. The paper champions versus the actual champions. Ain't that a bitch? You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. It wouldn't surprise me if Baker Mayfield came into this game and lit the Patriots up. This to me is that type of game that Baker Mayfield was just like, you know what? F y'all. Watch this. But I like the Patriots.
What about the wiener?
The Raiders at the Texans. The Texans will get back on track. They'll beat Oakland in what actually I think is going to be a close, tight game. Sunday night football has lost its luster because you were looking for Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers. Instead, you're going to get Aaron Rodgers versus Matt Moore. And I believe the Green Bay Packers will win this game. Monday night football, Dolphins and the Steelers. I mean, do we give a fuck? I'm not even going to pick a winner for that game. I mean, it's the Dolphins. I mean, they're pathetic. And Pittsburgh has just been snake bitten this year. So who gives a shit? But anyway, that's how we looking for the NF or the L. You know what I forgot today, people? I'm going to get into it. I forgot that today was the opening day of the NB or the A. In a season that everybody is truly looking forward to. Today was the first day of the season. You have a doubleheader. One game is going on right now. You had the Raptors beating the Pelicans in what everybody was looking for, the NBA debut of Zion Williamson. I'm going to talk about Zion in a minute. But the Raptors won. They got the biggest championship rings ever. And I'm sure that's not by accident. Excuse me, I'm porch, motherfuckers. And the game that everybody wanted to see is going on right now. The Lakers versus the Clippers. And guess who's winning? The Clippers.
God damn it!
The Clippers are up by 10 right now. 12, 72-60 in the third quarter. Kawhi Leonard absolutely showed out in the first half. Anthony Davis was pretty good too. Right now he's got 18. LeBron has 14. But there are a lot of people who are trying to put the Lakers into that title spot. And I'm a Laker fan, not a LeBron fan. But of course I want to see the Lakers do their thing. But the Clippers are going to be no joke. The Clippers are going to be no joke. So with, in regards to basketball, it's hard. I mean, it's like I don't want to make my playoff predictions now because you don't know how the season is going to go. I mean, I don't know who to pick between the Lakers and the Clippers of who I think is going to come out. I believe it will be one of those two. I'm more or less thinking of teams that will surprise you, not win the championship, but overachieve this season. In the Western Conference, I think that the Oklahoma City Thunder actually will be an overachieving team. It looked like, Chris Paul, through the craziest free agency in the history of basketball, seemed to have been the odd man out. But when I looked at that team and looked at Chris Paul's history with teams like that, I believe CP3 is going to definitely overachieve this year. This is the type of team where he'll surprise you, and he's the alpha on that team. What I've learned is that Chris Paul doesn't do well with other alphas. So he's the true alpha of this team, and I believe he will have it in the playoffs. The next surprising team that I believe will overachieve, possibly the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings, they've actually got some good talent on that ball club. De'Aaron Fox. Buddy Hield is asking for $100 million contract. I'm like, what is wrong with you? What the hell? Justin Jackson. I think that they will be a overachieving team, as well as I actually think the New Orleans Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans, with all of those baby Lakers on there, they lost tonight. They didn't have Zion Williamson, but I believe that they will be a surprise team. Now, on to Zion Williamson again. And I'm saying this because I said this when he was still at when he was still at Duke. Zion Williamson is out for possibly 2 months because he had to have a knee surgery. Now, during the preseason, Zion Williamson balled out. He played great, averaged about 23, 24 points in preseason. But I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. Zion Williamson is out of fucking shape.
Oh, your fat ass don't come on my house no more.
And that is going to hinder him if he doesn't get it together now. His career, the Zion that we know and want him to be, will be very short-lived. Because when you're 6'6" and you can jump like him and you have the powerful game that he has, you do not need to be weighing almost 300 pounds. He's fat, period. He's an athletic freak, but he is fat, period. His diet is not conducive of his playing style. Look, you fat bastard, lose 30 pounds, lose 35 pounds, stay about 250 for a good 10 years. You'll have a great NBA career. But the weight that you're going to be putting on your knees because you have such a belly and you play such a powerful game, I've said this before, by the time, if he doesn't change up, by the time Zion Williamson is 26, 27 years old, he's going to be Zach Randolph. And if you follow basketball, and this is not a knock on Zach Randolph, because Zach Randolph's game has been the same throughout his career. But that's what Zion Williamson's game is going to become. Now, if he has a career like Zach Randolph, great. But this isn't what we expect. When you think about Zion Williamson, you're not thinking about having a career like Zebo. But this is what his career is going to be. And that's if he develops a good post game. Other than that, he's out of luck. Because what I have said about Zion Williamson is 2 names come to mind in particular: Blake Griffin, Shawn Kemp. Now, Blake Griffin has rebounded and has resurrected. I don't even want to say that Blake Griffin's career ever fell off, but a lot of people just left him for dead. And he was the person I was happiest most from the All-Star team last year, because Blake Griffin has an all-around game. He has a complete game. And when it comes to surprise teams with the Eastern Conference, Detroit is honestly my main one, because I wouldn't be surprised at anything that Philly, Boston, Indiana, Milwaukee. Detroit is really my surprise team out the East. And the Knicks. I actually think the Knicks will win a few more games more than people want to give them credit for. But Zion Williamson, I'm telling you, Blake Griffin has an all-around game. Shawn Kemp became fat and out of shape. You know, I grew up watching Shawn Kemp, and I just remember he just jumped through the gym. 6'10", a mountain of power. Now, he was 6'10". Zion is 4 inches shorter. If this dude does not get in shape, it's not going to work. He's already out for 2 months. So we were looking to see Zion before Halloween. We ain't going to see him until maybe Christmas. So maybe a little before Christmas. Yeah, I'm telling you, he has got, during the course of this season, he's got to watch what he eats. And then this offseason, he's got to lose some fucking weight. He really does. So That's where I'm at with the NB of the A. I will now get into baseball playoffs, and this is going to be short-lived because my Yankees got eliminated. Fuck them. Okay. The Nationals won game 1 of the World Series. Hope they take it all. Baseball covered. So with that being said, what a buzzer, what a buzzer, what a buzzer. You know, not much on the life topic today. Just want everybody to just continue to be blessed. You know, as I said with the last podcast, you know, I'm on a journey, and to those who I love most, join the journey or start your own. No knock, God's gonna have your back just as much as He has mine. You know, I'm at a place not of satisfaction, but I am at a place of faith that everything is gonna be good, and I'm okay with whatever road the Lord has me to travel on. I'm good. So, with that being said, I told y'all again I was gonna be back sooner than later. And the last episode of Sports Plus Life, that was actually episode number 50. So this is episode number 51. But again, I didn't say this earlier. If you have not listened to Sports Plus Life before, go ahead and hit that subscription button. Become a part of the Sports Plus Life family. It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns. I will see y'all in a bit. I'm out. Peace.